Hi, this is Christy, ChristyMatthewsOnline.com and ChristyJMatthews.com. Hope you're having a great day. Got a question for you. Do you have a Turning Point cash plan? Well, let me explain what a Turning Point cash plan is. And you may have heard it come out in some sort of other ways with cash gurus and so forth. But simply, it's to have funds available for different aspects of your life. And one thing that I've noticed over the years in my real estate practice, originating mortgages, coaching other entrepreneurs is a common thread, and that is the lack of emergency funds. And hey, entrepreneurs, I know, especially when you're starting a new business, you put all your cash in to running the business and buying the tools and belonging to services and networking and all of these things that require a huge investment of not only your time but your cash. And I know you got to spend money to make money, but you know what, folks, you've also got to put money away so that you can relieve the stress of financial stress so that you can move forward and have all your full mental capabilities to work on your business, because there is nothing like financial stress. It will make you sick. So let me get into this, the steps, and I've got a story for you. So the first step is you got to have an emergency fund, folks. You need to have at least $1,000, and I'd say $1,500 is even better, because sure enough, the car breaks down. And nowadays, with the way that the cars are made, they're all computer operated systems and they're very expensive to fix. Mechanics cost are about $90 an hour. So it's very easy to walk out of the mechanic with an $800 repair bill. And if you have to buy some sort of component, you're well over $1,000. How many people have been there? Okay. Another thing that just happened to me. The kitchen faucet, 4 years old. It just sprung a leak. Did some damage to my base cabinet. We had to go ahead and take care of all of that. Ordered a new faucet. Plumber came out, installation fees. Next thing you know, you're up to about $800. Okay? So I have a Turning Point cash plan, and I have a Turning Point cash fund. And I had that money put away. So guess what? No stress. That's what it's there for. When stuff happens in our life that we're not planning for, they just come out of the blue and bam, hit you. Okay? It's very important to have that. Second is to pay off all of your existing debt. Now, I did a video about this the other day on how to pay down your credit card debt, your debt overall, and have this kind of cash loading snowball effect on paying it down. And if you haven't seen that, go back and you can find it on my YouTube channel, and I'll link it up here for you as well. It's very revealing on how to rapidly pay down your debt. It's very essential to do that. Number three, you want to have at least 3 to 6 months worth of savings. And I've got to tell you, as an entrepreneur, I recommend 6 months of savings. Now, this is different than your emergency fund. Your emergency fund, you don't touch at all. You don't dip into it to go buy gas. You don't dip into it to go out and have a meal. And folks, by the way, I just told you I spent about $800 on my faucet. Guess what? That fund is getting replenished. That's what's happening this month when all the income comes in, right back to the Turning Point fund, my emergency fund. Okay? Just how we roll. It wasn't always this way. We learned the hard way many, many years ago. Let me tell you, no financial stress. It's great. So after you complete the putting away 3 to 6 months of living expenses, and I want to get back to that, many of home-based entrepreneurs have a spouse that's working. What if your spouse loses your job, or loses their job, I should say? And you're relying on their income to support your business that may not be taken off very well or hasn't launched at all yet, but you're paying auto ship fees, membership fees, networking fees, all of these things that are relate it to building a business. You may need that income. And if that income is no longer there, having your reserves available to you will really help. Thank goodness we're in a great economy right now where more than likely it'd be pretty easy for your spouse to find another job. But if we just went back a few years, which was very brutally painful memory for many people, it was very, very hard to find a job within that period of time. So put those funds away. And again, you don't touch them. You don't. They're there for a purpose. And of course, you could put them in some sort of low interest rate type of savings, but you want to have that cash liquid, something that you can access now. And the fourth step, and there are others, but for the scope of this video, just wanted to cover the first 4 steps. And the fourth step is to start saving 15 to 20% of your overall revenues. So you put away your emergency fund, at least $1,000, I'd say $1,500. You've gotten to paying off your debt, and you pay off your credit cards, your auto loan, you start hitting the student loans, and you go after a mortgage. Third, you have your reserves, okay? Now back to baby step 2. If you've got your mortgage wrapped into your budget and there's some tax reasons for it, that's cool. I understand that. Go on to the step number 3 and start getting those savings put into your bank account, okay? Step number 4, put away 15 to 20% of your income. So whatever's coming in, put it away. And again, you don't touch it, but that's the step that you invest in interest earning type of accounts. They're more long-term investments. They're investments that will not do you any good if you just put them in as a savings account and pull it out, for emergency. Those are long-term investments. Again, you leave them alone. So let me tell you a story. You're going, oh my gosh, Christy, I don't have 2 nickels to rub together. I'm here to tell you, you probably do. I have a story of a friend of mine. I went out to take a break with her one day, and she says, come on with me, I want to go get some lunch. And I go, okay. So her lunch was a vegetable juice bar. So cool, we head on over there, and I noticed that it's taken 5 to 10 minutes to get over there. There's a long line in there. We wait 5-10 minutes for her to put in her order, and then about another 5-10 minutes. So half an hour gone, and the juice ran at least $10, and she pops in $2 for a tip. So, and she's telling me, money's tight. I don't have any money left at the end of the month. And so I looked at her and I said, do you mind if I just point out an observation and ask you a couple questions? And she said, sure. And I said, how often do you come here? And she goes, oh, every day. I'm at my practice nearly every day of the month. So for our discussion today, she's there probably 27, 28 days. Let's say for just some of the simple math, I noticed, I pointed out to her, I said, did you know, and you come here every day, right? And she says, yeah, I do. I love it here. I said, do you know that you're spending at least $250 on vegetable juice? Now, I'm not trying to diminish vegetable juice and the whole atmosphere and the experience, but you're telling me you don't have extra money at the end of the month. This is a big, big expense that you can nip. Why not make your own vegetable juice at home? Well, I just don't have the time. I go, sure you have the time. We've just spent 30 minutes and you haven't even really been able to drink and enjoy this thing. And then you're going to be driving right back to your practice and walk right in. So how are you even letting yourself have some downtime? So I go, check this. You go, first of all, you can add the vegetables into your shopping budget, and you'll probably pay for the cost of the vegetables by the savings in the gas and the time that you've spent driving over here. Secondly, the cost of making the juice is probably, I don't know, $1.50, $2. And But she goes, I don't have the time. Sure you do. Rearrange your schedule to where you can make this at home, and then you have it in your refrigerator at your practice. And this way, when you need to step out, and I totally agree with that, we need to step away from our workstations, take a break. Wouldn't it be much more enjoyable to grab the thing that you've already made, in her case, vegetable juice, go out and have a nice walk or go down to the park and really take advantage of that hour that's being spent to leave the practice, drive over, deal with people, pay for the experience, maybe, have to gulp it down in 5-10 minutes and drive back and then face your next client. And that $250 a month, that can go right to this emergency tipping point plan. And just think, in just 4 months, she'd have her $1,000 emergency fund set aside. Now I'm asking you, what habits, and by the way, her going to the vegetable juice bar was a habit that she created. It wasn't something she was doing since she was a little kid. It's something that, hey, I like this place. She's gone in a time or two, and then it became a habit to go there every day. A habit to where she wasn't even thinking about it anymore. Now, we all have habits and we can all change habits. So the habit of spending on the vegetable juice every day became a habit. And so it's going to take some thought and some focus on changing the habit. And I ask you, what habits can you change? There are a few things. Perhaps how much are you paying on your cable bill every month? I know for me, there was something I looked at, 6 months ago. You might see cable TV creep, okay? The TV bill creep. It creeps up all the time, especially after you get out of a contract, right? So our cable TV bill was creeping up well over $200. And I'm looking at it, go, this is crazy. We don't even watch this much TV, let alone we don't have premium channels and all that because we just aren't into it. So I took a look at this, and I know this is just not a good use of our resources. And I looked at our habit and installed a new habit and actually was able to cut the cord to cable. It was very cool. And those extra funds are going into our investment fund, which is really, really cool. I'm looking at, let's say, probably about an extra $1,500 a year off to the investment fund. And with some aggressive investing, that's going to double in just maybe 5 years. It's amazing, just amazing how just changing our habits can really change our life. And the turning point, my friends, is when stuff happens in our life and we have these steps in our plan in place, then you don't have to think about it. It's just there. No stress. You just move on. And this is really what you're trying to get to as being an entrepreneur, is to get to the point. This is why you took on entrepreneurship, is to have a better life, to create, to do great things in your life. It's not to go ahead and get into more debt. And I know many of you are running, many, maybe 10 network marketing opportunities and not making any money on any of them. Maybe getting rid of some of them might be a good thing to do. In fact, I don't know how anybody who hasn't launched on one can manage 10. I know many people who are doing this. So perhaps paring it down and focusing on one, and think about all that money that's being spent on auto ship, membership programs. You might have your turning point cash fund right there. So folks, this isn't a preach. This is just something that I see, and I want the very best for you. And many years ago, I had to learn this habit as well. It has made a big difference in my life. And so I wanted to share it with you, and I hope it makes a big difference in your life as well. So if you got some value from today's video, would you mind sharing it on with others who might get some benefit from it as well? And if you did get some value from this and you like the information I shared with you, would you give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments? And feel free to visit my websites. I've got some other great resources there that might help you out. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time on the next video. Bye now.